All right. Hi, everyone. Uh, this is kind of like a video that I didn't really expect to make. But after watching this show, this is after my fourth episode video, by the way. After watching it, I have some problems with how they're showing a lot of things in this show. So the main thing that I want to talk about is how they're showing Native American cultures. So in this show, they've been showing them as all represented by the Choctaw people. Which and they're like saying, "Oh yeah, they're all similar. They're all the same." If you watch my episode 4 review, you know kind of what I'm talking about, what I'm going to get into. But and they're saying, "Oh yeah, they're basically all the Choctaw people," which I find so egregious because they're trying. It's like saying it's just as bad as saying, "Oh yeah, all of Egypt is," or not all of Egypt. My bad. Got Prince of Egypt on my brain. Good movie. But it's like saying all of Africa is, you know, sub-Saharan Africa or Northern Africa or something like that. That's not how that works. And you also can't say it's like saying, oh well, um, all Europeans are French. It's like what? No, you don't say that. It's so dumb. Um, and they're doing that with the Native Americans here. They just say, oh yeah, they're all basically like the Choctaw people, and it's like no, they're not. We live in this like weird culture now where it's like, oh yeah, this is empowerment right here. They're empowering the Native Americans because, it's great when we show stereotypes, when we show them all being one homogenous group. That's great. No, it's not. That's awful. You're basically boiling down the collective experience of many peoples from the past and saying, oh yeah, they're all this. That's awful. You're basically saying those people's lives they all meant the same thing. They didn't really matter. They just kind of were all the same people. No, it's a disservice to the people that lived and the people that are no longer around. It's a disservice to history. These people lived and they all had unique cultures. They all were unique individuals. But instead, they're saying, "Oh yeah, well they're all the same." And like small things in this is they they've been showing like, oh yeah, the Native Americans all did this. Or, they had to throw in there, especially in episode 4, they had to say, "Oh yeah, well, the Choctaw, they have a casino." It's like, okay, so the stereotype of Native Americans just all, oh yeah, on the Indian reserves, they all have casinos. Yeah, there are a lot that do. I'm not saying that's not real, but it's just, why do they have to show it? It feels like they're just stereotyping them, which I thought we were against. I thought we were, you know, against stereotyping people. We're against that. We're saying, yeah, no, stereotypes are bad, but then they just do it, and then they feel like it's empowering. It's it's dumb. I've been really annoyed with this. Every It's like this with Disney's done this multiple times with different movies and things like that. An example uh that people forget is Rose Tico in Star Wars and the sequel trilogy. I know a lot of people don't dislike Rose, but one thing that they were trying to do with her is show, oh look, hey, here's an Asian person. Hey, Asian countries, well, China, that's who they're really trying to sell to. But hey, Asian countries, look, see, it's an Asian person. So you like us, right? Not realizing that, oh, well, from what I understand, Kelly Marie Tran, I believe, let me check this before I just say it, but um, I believe she is uh, Vietnamese. Uh, let me check. Let me check just to make sure. Yeah, I was right. She is Vietnamese. And the history between the Vietnamese and many other cultures in uh, East Asia are rough at sometimes. Like China, they were trying to they basically put uh, Rose in for China. That's why they did it. That's why she's there. But she's Vietnamese. And so they were like, "Oh yeah, see look, China, we're doing so great, aren't we? We have an Asian person. Oh, she's Vietnamese? Oh, you hate the Vietnamese? Well, that's okay. Look, she's Asian. That's all that matters, right?" And it's like, "Wow. You guys, you were they're taking people and they're putting them in to be like, oh look, see we're so empowering, we're showing so much culture, but then like when they do like the basic level, they don't actually go into it. So they could have done so much more with the Choctaw. They could have shown their uniqueness among other Native American cultures and been like, look, this isn't we're not representing all Native Americans here, but we're representing the Choctaw people and how important they were to history. Because every group of Native Americans were important in some way because they represent an area, they represent a people, their history that a lot of people don't even know in the greater world, even. Most Americans don't know, but most people in the world don't know. This is a group of people that really um, are disappearing. Um, we don't have that like they're most of them are gone, and they could have had so much potential to really show like, look, these people are so great. Their culture was great, but instead they do what they've done with so much other stuff and just go at the base level and say, aren't we so great? Yes, we're so great. We're showing Native Americans. Aren't they great? And rather than going, yeah, look at the Choctaw people, look at the unique culture that they had and that they brought to the world. Isn't it kind of sad that they're gone? But instead, it's just like Native Americans are perfect. And I don't look, I'm not saying they should show the Native Americans as, oh, well, or the Choctaw people as, oh, look, they're so perfect. No one's perfect. History is imperfect. People have made decisions, have done things that are awful, that are, you know, non-humane, non not good. They've done evil things, whether it be Europeans, Africans, Asians, Native Americans. No one is perfect. We've all made horrible decisions at some point in history. But instead of showing real people, they show a stereotyped, hey, look at us. Look, we've got the headdresses. Aren't we so great? It it annoys me. And as someone who really loves history, and I'm sure if you've seen my other videos, you might know that. But as someone who really loves history and loves what the people of the past got did to get us where we are today, it's such a disservice to them to boil them down to, oh well, they look at this. They're magic space people that had magic powers. That's why they were so unique, isn't it? Isn't it great, guys, that their culture, everything. Oh, well, they had magic space powers, so that's why they mattered. Fuck off. You know, we used to care about people and we used to care about what those cultures brought to us. But now all we care about is what we can do showing aren't we so great that we're representing these people? What happened to that? What happened to the like actually caring about your fellow man and caring about his story and his past? What what his ancestors went through to get him to where he is today. Instead, we just write it off as a culture, as a uh, as a culture, not even just a culture. That's not fair. As a um, big umbrella, you know, that would be art. That would make a show worth something. It would actually be worth making a show about a Native American superhero. You know what? She is deaf and she is um, an amputee. But instead, they just go, they're checking the boxes. Oh, well, we've got a deaf person. Oh, she's also an amputee. Oh, also she's um a minority group. Aren't we? Oh, we're so great. We're showing all these check boxes rather than showing a real person with real struggles. It it's such a disservice to the cultures that they're trying to represent and the real people that actually exist. Well, that's gonna do it for this rant. I didn't really want to make a video like this. I don't find, I feel like I'm just putting out more hate in the world, whatever. But I feel like this is something that had to be talked about. You know, it really bothers me that this is where we've become, where we have to tokenize entire peoples because we have to show that we're so great. Uh, our greatness is gilded. It's only surface level.